I also love that you guys have been hiring residents to do the work. Bold move. What kind of magic happens when you get people in the story to actually help write that next chapter? Right? Really, that's what it is. Like, whose idea was it? Like, was this always the thing? Did something that you implemented, or I think it's fascinating.
So yes, yes, and it is fascinating. It is going back to that authentic storytelling, because you can't get it wrong when you've got a resident behind you,
Hmm.
beside you, when you're following them through the streets, knocking on doors, as you mentioned. Um, I think there are a lot of organizations like ours in Camden who do lean on the lived experience of Camden residents. There are Camden residents I was with last night who have lived there for 40, 45 years, who have been
Wow.
there since the jump with their families, who, are multiple generations of families from Camden.
Hmm.
And you're never going to get a more authentic story than from a Camden resident. When you want to do something and start a new initiative and you try to do a focus group, or you know, oh, we're going to try this, and, you get, okay, that's great. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? You're like, no, 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 not doing anything. We can't wait to see it happen. It's like, well, is it because it hasn't happened? It hasn't happened well enough? It has, tell me more. And they're like, we'll tell you more. You just keep coming back to us with some updates. You just keep coming back to us don't forget about us. And when you have Camden residents on your team, they hear it. They have to go, back home every day wearing the t-shirt or doing, and they will hear it and they will bring it back. And they're like, they're really excited about our event. We're going to need more, more ice cream, a second Mr. Softy truck, whatever it is. Or, this isn't reading well out there. We need to do more outreach. We need to be out in front a little bit more. We need to change the message. We've even had feedback of changing the title of a workshop because no one was coming. And as soon as we did, we had 30 people at the door. Like, very simple feedback, very simple, but it's honest and it's authentic and it works and it's true. And so and it's not that it's a low bar or a low requirement. It's a requirement that meets people where they are to work with us. And we've had so many Camden residents. I have a woman on my team who has been with us for 9 years. She was with us before she joined my team. As a neighborhood, we have neighborhood allies. Some organizations have community health workers. So you're sharing healthcare information and resources as a member who goes back home and you're using them yourself, right? No better proof in the pudding than someone who's, also using the product, right?
Yeah.
That old guy who used to say, I'm not only the president, but I'm also a member, right? So that's the thing for our Camden residents. And they are at every table with us when we're making decisions, when we're designing programs. That feedback is invaluable. That asset that we have, when we're asset mapping, the first thing we put down is Camden residents. That's the biggest, truest, most authentic asset that we have. And when we abandon that, we're sunk, because it's with them and by them, and then it's for them. So when we're doing it in collaboration, going back to your other point, who are we collaborating with? First and foremost, it has to be the residents, because when we're long gone, they're the ones who, we're accountable to getting the funding and doing the thing. But if we're not sharing that experience and sharing that toolbox and building up their repertoire of what they have in their pocket to make, these initiatives continue and sustain, in a way that makes sense for them, that makes them feel safe and comfortable and secure, then, that trust building is proof that we're doing it right, because they're keeping us honest. And that's one of the best things experiences that I've had in my job, is by working side by side with Camden residents. It's awesome.
Yeah, and make complete sense, right? Like those are the ones that you said going to use it. Those are the ones that experience it, and it's like really, it's not about us; it's about them. So why not get them involved, right? And I think sometimes organizations may get that wrong as well. It's trying to do things as that you just want to do, but is it really helpful? as you mentioned, is someone going to use it? Is a title that we grab them with a title because sometimes we got to dumb it down a little bit, right? To just make sense, and not so much because people are not smart, but sometimes we just need it to make sense. I'm a big believer. Every time, even with my partner Keenan, I always say whenever we're saying something, it just has to make sense. When I was a facilitator, like they'll give me a script like this is what you teach, but I'm like, it doesn't make sense. We got to speak their language,
Mhm.
right? So how do we speak their language? We get to know what they do. We get to know who they are. And once you understand that, now you can speak their language. Like I spoke to these people. They're here. They're speaking up. So I love that you guys get so involved in that. It shows why there's 100-year-old nonprofit standing because of those reasons. Um, we think about burnout though, right? I can imagine it happens often. You're working so hard, you burn yourself out. How are you leading others when maybe sometimes your own tank is actually running low? Like, is there someone else that you go to kind of refill that up? Is it husband? Is it kids? Is it God? What is it?
Um, I think that um, turning a certain age can also kind of change that. I used to hear legendary tales that once you hit, let's say 40, for example, things that you not waste invested too much time in that maybe
Hmm.
didn't deserve a lot of your time. Um, you start to realize that maybe you want to readjust where you spend your time and who you spend your time with.
Hmm.
So I think being able to say no, being able to say no, thank you, being able to decide, again, comfortable and happy. How do I stay comfortable and happy, right? If I was uncomfortable today, how do I get back to my comfortable space? If I was, less than satisfied with the day, how do I get back to happy? And now, both of those things aren't always simultaneous, right? But how do I get back to one? How do I get back to
Hmm.
baseline? Um, so for me, that could be, going to a youth sports game to be with people who I don't have to talk about the day today, right? We don't even actually always ask how your day was, right? Because here we are, we're doing this thing now. Like, let's be present here. So I think that's the other thing is people who help me be present where I am, or who see my face, which I am very, very bad poker face. So people will be like, mostly my husband, thank him for his truth. But I think that they're your people that you go to. I wish I had more time to exercise, but I watch other people exercise, my kids all the time. So I think it's being back with the people um, who know you best
Bring
and
happiness.
who can keep you grounded.